सगळे आमचे CCR TV पळोवणाऱ्यांक माय मोगाचो येवकार. 2022 जानेवारी आमी आहा. काम फेब्रुवारी 2022 आमची मोठी व्हडली इलेक्शनां जातलीं. हे इलेक्शनांत 40 जाण इलेक्ट करपाचे आसा आनी हे इलेक्शन आहा सगळ्या हातींत हे आमचे वोटरांक. The voters will elect the people that they want and ultimately they will form the government in 2022. Assembly padya ha, their tenure ends on 15th March 2022. Muntogoch, new government anyaka amka 2 म्हयन्यांक मेवतलो म्हणून अशें आसा हा, unless there is some catastrophic about your COVID-19 केसी वाडलेली आहा आनी कांयच सांगूंक जायना कितें जातलें तें. तर तयारी आहा म्हणटकूच आमचे मदें आयज एडवोकेट आहा आमचे बरोबर. ही इज ए सिवील केसीस मोस्टली अप टू द हाय कोर्ट तो घेवन आसा. इज ए सिवील लॉयर फॉर द लास्ट 42 years. तो मेर्सेचो गांवांत थंयच जल्मला, गोंयांचो आशिल्लो इतलीं वर्सां आनी तो महाराष्ट्रवादी गव्हर्मेंटाक पार्टीन हो आशिल्लो रायट फॉर ऑलमोस्ट 50 years नाव, 50 वर्सां. आनी आतांय तो म्हणटा हांव MGPचोच एक मेंबर म्हूण. तर ताणें 1972 इलेक्शन्स जेन्ना CM तेन्ना बांडोडकार भाऊ आशिल्लो तेन्ना तो सान तांकां तांचे बरोबर काम करीत आयला. आतांय तो आहा तितलो एक्टीव ना, पूण तो म्हणटा हांव MGPन सुरवात केल्ली ती आजून MGPनूच आहा आनी तातूंतच आपूण रावतलो. एकदां ताणें कॉन्टेस्ट केलें इलेक्शन सांताक्रूज कॉन्स्टिट्युएन्सी इन 1989. पूण ही डज नॉट रिग्रेट दॅट ही डीड नॉट कम विक्टोरियस. पूण तो जावन आशिल्लो वायस प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ MGPचो पार्टी फॉर 2 terms. जेन्ना शशिकला ताई आशिल्ली तेन्ना आनी तेन्ना पांडुरंग रावत बी आशिल्लो तेन्ना. तो म्हणटा हांव MGPनूच जल्मांत आयला, MGPनूच आहा आनी हेच पार्टीन हांव रावतलो. तर माय मोगाचो येवकार आमचे एडवोकेट महेंद्र N. रायकार.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, advocate.
Thank you very much. It is a privilege for being called here and giving me this time to talk to you. Thank you very much.
It's nice. It's nice to have. What made you first to be in the MGP party, and you have not been jumping like many jumping frogs that we have, and still you continue to be with the same old party?
See, I cannot say that something made, because in 1972 I was just 15 or 16 years old. So at that time there was no reason. It was just basically the charisma of Bahu, which prevailed everywhere. In my family also, my uncle was a founder member of the MGP. So it came just like that, as if inborn.
Yeah. So all of you
were there. But as we grew and as the year passed, we realized, I still say, that it was best for Goa to have MGP, and especially in power for at least those first initial years. Bahu had a vision, and the result of the vision is two prominent acts. One is Munkar Act and Tenancy Act, which gave economic and social stability to the weaker sections of the society. That was his vision. Then his contribution in educational sector is also unquestioned. Practically, he started schools in every village of Goa, and he encouraged education in all sectors. He did not confine to a particular way. Whichever sectors came, whichever he encouraged. Today, what we find is there is no leader with a vision. No leader with a vision. They only resort to politics. I have not seen in last 15 or 20 years a visionary document for Goa. They have not come out with any policy which will help grow Goan culture, preserve Goan culture, grow, encourage Goan traditions, nothing. the development that we see in Goa of late is on account of two reasons. One is private sector investment. If you see big hotels, if you see big buildings, if you see malls and all these things, casinos, that is a private sector investment. And government cannot say that this is development that is taking place in Goa. No. I would not rate this as a government. You might give permissions, but giving permission is not development. Infrastructural development is there a little bit, but it is more from the central side, central government. And I am refusing to give credit to the ruling party, present ruling party, because their party is there. Because whichever party is ruling party, the central government schemes have to come to Goa if they are through Goa. If, for example, if a national highway is passing through Goa, let us take example with Zuari Bridge and this bridge and that road going on. It is an excellent development that will take Goa steps ahead. But then this development is part of a national policy, national project, which would have happened, whichever government was there. So today if somebody takes a claim because our government is there in the center, we can give this to you. No, it is wrong.
But you actually introduced the present government in Goa, and they took over from you and then they put you aside in a corner.
Yes. See, this happened in 1994 elections. I had contested in 89. 5 years later, MGP decided to have an alliance with BJP. I, for one, at that time was against. I distinctly remember myself and our late Shivram Asgaonkar, who was a union leader, we had opposed this. The simple reason was they are a national party. Tomorrow, once you give align with them, you have to give your supporters in those constituencies, which will not come back. The same thing happened. Our voters which were, who went to BJP, they never came back. And power went on their side because they had money. So from younger brother, in the next election, they were big brother. And okay, it's okay, fine if people want them, but then being big brother also were not, did not satisfy their. They started claiming our own MLAs. I am supporting you, I am with you, why you have to take my MLAs with you? They did it when Pandurang Madhekar was there and Sudhin Madhavikar. We had 2 MLAs, unfortunately, at some point of time. This time we had 3 MLAs, all were supporting you, and still you took from them. So that has given a very bad experience.
Do you mean to say that now it has weakened the MGP?
Definitely. It did. Their steps definitely weakened, because what happened is, in those constituencies which we leave them, our workers go to them. Now they have power, they have money, so worker doesn't come back. It becomes very difficult to retain the workers. It is difficult to retain the MLAs. Even Congress cannot retain the MLAs. How can we retain the workers? So, to my mind, allying with BJP at that time was wrong. It was a wrong decision.
But as of now, what is the equation?
As of now, our leadership, when I say our leadership, MGP leadership has taken a right decision not to align with BJP. They have gone with Trinamool. It's not going to affect us in any way negatively, 100%. Because from what I read politically, the Trinamool vote base will not be in MGP strongholds. It will be only in Congress or other strongholds. So MGP is definitely going to benefit with this. I will not be surprised if we double our tally this time.
Because what we have seen now recently,
those
who had left you all and joined the others, want now to come back.
They want to come back.
So what's your reading?
In last 2-3 days, there is a talk of a very prominent leader, minister, who has gone back and wants to come back. I think it will be a foolish step on the part of our leadership. Politically, I don't know. They may cite some political compulsions, but they should not be taken back.
But your president leaders also said that we will not take them back.
Hopefully, I am known.
This is rare, I should say, because of late, anybody joins today, leaves tomorrow, rejoins. So where are the principles, the values that we have been seeing?
See, we ourselves have been demanding that this jumping should be stopped by way of legislation. So today, if we take him back, then we are also promoting that. So rightfully, our leadership has taken decision not to take this back.
Yeah, but then you tell me, you are an old timer, I must
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
and now what is happening is totally new and different.
Right.
How do you explain this change from a 360 degrees change? We never had foreseen such a change.
See, in a democracy, anywhere in the world, if you see, initially the voting has been on patriotic lines. When if you see in India, initially it was independence coupled with Congress, so people had that patriotic spirit. We have got liberation or independence because of him. So initially it is always like that, either here or in states or in any part of the world where the democracy is there. Similarly in Goa, because those front leaders in liberation movement, or Pandurang, Pampu Shirodkar, then Banodkar, these are all in the freedom movement. So naturally, people went with them initially. It was a patriotic following. Now, unfortunately, it is national, it is regional. What happens? First, it is patriotism. Thereafter, regionalism. Maharashtra, Goa, Ami Goinkar, Ami Maharashtra, Ami. That factor comes. Then it follows by religion, caste and community, which should not have happened. But it is part of it. Everywhere it happens. Today, we talk about, how can you say he is a North Indian? How can you say he is a Gujarati? We are all Indians. But we rejoice what is happening in states. When Kamala Harris is elected, we are saying we all Indians supported. I am asking this question, why should we say Indians support? Because they are Americans, they are voters there. They should vote as Americans, they should not vote as Indians. And when they vote as Indians, we support them. This is regionalism. And if it happens in Goa or in India, we say this is not welcome. This is not correct.
Yeah, but then of late what we have seen,
now it is more on community politics, like they talk about vote banks. At national level, they talk about Muslim vote banks, Christian vote banks, or Hindu vote banks. That should not happen. It should be on the policies of the party, philosophy of the party, not on caste basis, because we are all one. India, irrespective of caste, creed, we are one. We should go as one.
But at the rate that we are going.
In Goa also, now the parties which are coming inside, I am talking about two parties which are prominent parties which have come inside, they are banking on some vote banks, which is not proper. One party leader who is otherwise supposed to be very educated and sober and not eccentric, unfortunately he came out with a statement that if our party comes, our particular community will be given the chief ministership, which is bad. If you do that, then what is the status of the person who is not of that community but who is your prominent worker? Is he not to get a post, or is he not to get what he really deserves only because he doesn't belong to a community? I am not against this community, I am not against anybody. But in principle, this is bad. So this is only an attempt to secure vote banks on the basis of caste and religion. This is bad.
It should not happen.
This should not happen.
Yeah. But then, as we are seeing now, parties themselves don't seem to have a strong policy. They keep on changing. Today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and nobody knows now what is the future.
Not parties. These people who are elected on those parties, they change. Parties do not change. Say, I am MGP. I have studied Congress culture and Congress philosophy also. There is not much difference. There is not much difference. Because both are talking about secular. In MGP and Congress, their agenda is secular. Though when Goa was liberated in the first elections, Hindus identified themselves with MGP and Christians identified with it. But then, MGP was not a Hindutva-based party. It was a secular party, supported majorly by Hindus.
Yeah.
But it was not communal, I would say that approach is bad for India and for the state also.
Unfortunately,
Unfortunately, that should not happen.
yeah, it should not happen.
It should not happen.
And do you think that in the last years that we have seen new governance, has it been really beneficial for Goa, for the land of Goa, for the youth of Goa, for the industry of Goa?
I'll answer this industry part first, then to the agriculture.
Okay.
Now, industry, as I told you, this industrial sector has been mostly private sector. Government has no role to play except giving permissions. The only industry that was set up was way back in the form of ACGL and Sahakari Sakar Karkhana. Otherwise, government has not set up any industry as such. So, government's role in that is only administrative role. I would not give that credit to you. If some big firm comes and sets up a big hotel, it's because they see a potential in that. It's not a government innovates and give them. No. Now, as far as agricultural sector is concerned, somehow we have drifted away for the last about 20-25 years. We have drifted away from this agricultural. Now, if you see our agricultural base, in every village there used to be water bodies, and we used to have the khazan lands with two, at least say. Those things are gone. The village economy was prospering only because of their agricultural income. Every house used to cultivate and every house to get rice, the basic necessities they used to get, and therefore their financial strings were secured. Now that agriculture in villages is gone. Especially agriculture based on the water bodies is gone. The water bodies are not preserved. There are khazan lands and all these bunds and all. That is not done. That was earlier done by Komdas. Now Komdas are in disarray. And government should come with some legislation so that some body is created to take over those property, these lands, and at least preserve that.
But now the preference is to give the lands for building huge structures.
No, those lands are private lands. As a private landowner, I may give some property to a big A because I would say my own personal interest. So these projects which are coming, they are basically private lands. Government had given lands only to that in the SAES and all. But they were supposed to catch industrial development. But what happened was their vision again was to favor a few. That is why they came with the glossy picture of putting up an industry, and they took big lands to develop themselves afterwards. That is when that SAES policy failed, because you should have given those lands to those people who is having industrial background. Now give a land to Raheja, what Raheja will come with? He will not come with a chemical factory or another labor-oriented unit. He will come with construction. Maybe put up one or two hotels just to show a project.
But the people by and large, they don't benefit.
People do not benefit. They not benefit also. And now we are fighting litigation to get the land back. And
what is the future of our youth today? Because most of them, they say they are unemployed. They cannot be also be made employable.
See, government cannot give employment to everybody. Government employment will be shared by private sector and government. But government has no vision or policy to create job opportunities for the youth. Another thing which could happen is if you give a support price for the agricultural produce and encourage village agriculture by reviving those water bodies and all, providing the necessary infrastructure, youth will go there. There are stories I read of so many people, so many youth. Sometimes they are highlighted in, especially in your paper only, where they come with novel ideas and they make money on agriculture. So
you think still there is a scope
still there is a scope.
But the youth normally today they
No,
like white collar jobs.
They like white collar job. They shy away. That is because, see, end of the day, they think the money is coming fast and easy. But if they see money coming fast and easy in agriculture and big money, they will go there. End of the day is financial requirements.
Yeah, but then why the youth are not happy today, not a very happy lot today?
See, youth always go with expectations with their rulers, and if the rulers promise, some say I'll give you 2 crore jobs, and there are not even 2 jobs. Excuses are different, but when you say something like, for example, if somebody says I am going to give 2 crore jobs in these 5 years, and thereafter there is pandemic, you cannot perform. But then, what did you do in the initial stages to create these jobs? You should come before the people. This is what I was doing, but this is stopped. Nothing of that is coming. Only promises are coming.
So that means
youth is totally dismayed.
yes. But then you think that there is linkage with the educational institutions, the university and the industries should have been stronger?
Yes. Because see, you heard of campus interviews. What is campus interview? Campus interview means industry is interacting with those institutions and premier institutions, because the quality education is given there. So what happens is, like in IIT, every IITian, 90% of they are taken off because they come for campus interviews. So there is a relation between industry and the educational sector. Same way, if there is quality education provided in our state, people will come for those educated youths, and they will get employment.
So it only means that something has gone wrong
Something
somewhere.
has gone wrong, some policy.
And now a course correction might or could take place, provided we have good MLAs who can legislate and who have a vision.
We need MLAs who know, first of all, the spelling of MLA. And yes, definitely so, they should be educated, and they should have a feeling for the people, poor people. If you are educated, if you are in ivory tower, doesn't help. If you doesn't have that feel for the poor, you should feel, if you feel the pinch of when the poor man starves. If that is not there, doesn't help even if you are educated. So people should select the MLAs by not falling prey to money power or on caste basis. They should elect good MLAs. Yeah, we have future, and
yeah.
there are lots of boys and there are gentlemen who have been MLAs. There are a few MLAs now also who are very good, and there will be so many MLAs. So there is no dearth of good people in there. The only thing, selection should be done properly.
But the people should select the right, candidates.
Yes.
And the parties also should put
promote. Yes. They
yes.
They should promote good candidates. They should at least give. They should sit with that educational qualification is there. Their background is there. They should come from a good background, and non-corrupt. That is also very important.
Yes. And corruption has been something which has corroded our state, I must say. Is it possible to have a corruption-free state?
See, state, what is state? We all come together. Government is we all come together. That is government. It is an associated body of individuals. End of the day, whoever runs it is individuals. So basically the individual should be good. Individuals should be good.
Yeah, because of late we have seen that the corruption has increased manifold. It cannot even be controlled, they say now. It has reached alarming proportions. There is no doubt about it.
Beyond repairs.
Yes, yes.
So the only solution is, fortunately we have got elections now close by,
yes.
And in these elections people should sit, people now know among these 40 MLAs whom you can attribute corruption, whom you cannot attribute corruption, that people know. We don't have to tell anybody. So they should weed out those people who are known to be corrupt, and they should select people who according to them at least, see, tomorrow a person who is elected as a gentleman may also turn corrupt.
Yes, there is no guarantee.
There is no guarantee.
At the end of the day, there is no guarantee.
Yeah.
And of late, what we have seen is also criminalization of politics. This is something which has happening now. Major reason for criminalization of politics is, they say, political parties, but we cannot also ignore the role of voters for boosting these parties to do so. The situation is very confusing now.
It comes to same, because you elect bad people and then they are supported by, see, if you elect a person who uses money and force, tomorrow definitely he will use that same money and force to extend his rule.
And the people...
And therefore, he will have to support those people who are supporting him. If you stand on the basis of, on the strength of unsocial elements, then you have to protect them. If you protect them, they don't care anybody. See, interference, and what happens is, unfortunately, Goa is so small. See, I would say that every Goan, whether he is from Valpoi or from Kankon, Barshe, every Goan will know at least one MLA.
Yes.
Personally.
And they can meet.
And they have access to that
yes,
MLA. So tomorrow if some problem happens, they go to the MLA.
Yes.
MLA without seeing who is right, who is wrong, you have come to me, he calls up the police inspector. So here, it very much depends on the police force. The policing should be without any fear, and once you are posted at a particular place, you should not fear the politician. You will fear a politician if you want to cling to that place, or if you want to find a lucrative place. But if you want to do justice, you will not fear the politician. If that is done, then the policing will be proper. If the policing is proper, law and order will remain there. See, today, if a normal man goes to the police station, he is scared. Why should he be scared? They are our protectors. But what happens is, he enters, and then if you look at him seriously, why you have come, he feels he is guilty. That should not happen. I am not accusing the police, because there are so many police people who are really nice. Last week I was at some police station, because with my cousin's sister, there was some cyber fraud and money was stolen. That police officer at Old Goa was excellent. He understood the problem. But before meeting him, there was a constable who was telling me, why you are allowing this to happen, you are allowing that to happen. It happened because of our ignorance, whatever it is. But end of the day, she is coming to tell her that I am cheated.
Yes.
So that police also should be sometimes given some periodical, some refresher courses should be there for them, so that they are guided properly. Because that police mentality also should be slightly, I am not accusing them, they are very nice. Policing Goa is much better than policing in other states. Elsewhere, definitely, definitely yes, we are much better.
Yeah.
But that they should ensure that the complainant who comes there should not be frightened away.
Yeah.
I am putting in short in that way.
Yeah.
So if that happens, then the justice will be done. If the justice is done, then the criminals will shy away. Criminals do not shy away if they are protected by the police. Police normally don't protect them unless there is a call from the higher ups.
Yes. That's what they said, no? That we are under pressure from the top.
So that pressure they should withstand. Police should know that you are appointed, nobody can touch you. You have the full power. Under the Police Act, they have got maximum power. That power is more than sufficient to do the proper law and order.
But very often they are afraid that they would be
transferred.
They are
afraid, That fear should go.
Yeah.
That fear should go. And that will go only if they are properly advised, counseled periodically.
But I think what we have seen is that value-based politics is disappearing.
Unfortunately,
yes. Yes, and we never know what awaits for us tomorrow. Let us hope that...
No. Future is always good.
You
yes,
think so?
I am hopeful.
You are very positive.
Yeah, very positive. Everything will be good. Say, nothing to worry about. Evil cannot prevail over goodwill.
Yeah.
Cannot be. It is time bound. It happens. It is a cycle of a.
Okay.
If something happens today, after a few years, it will change.
You have hopes.
Yes.
So let us have the same hopes that things will improve, things will change, and let us wait and watch who will be elected in the 2022 elections.
Yes.
Advocate Mahendra Raikar, thank you very much
for
being
with us.
Thank you very much
for giving this privilege. Yeah.